Hey guys, and welcome back. My name's Ohaple, and today we're going to be talking about how you can place an effective ad on your YouTube channel to boost that growth and get your channel going strong, even if you are a very small YouTuber with minimal cost to you. So to start off, you're going to go to your video manager. In here you'll see your uploads, and you have those drop down boxes where it says edit. By clicking on one of those drop down boxes for whichever video you want to promote, probably a channel trailer would be best, you're going to click that drop down box and click promote. Make sure it's a channel trailer, something short, 30 seconds to a minute. From here, you're going to start just entering in your basic information, how much you're willing to spend, who can see it. You probably want to do let me choose who sees my ad, that way you can target your audience a little bit more closely, your locations, interests, all that. You want to set this very specific. If you're a gaming channel, you want to set it for what kind of games do you play? Do you play role-playing games? Do you play adventure games? Do you play shooters? Whatever. Make sure you're being very specific. If you do music, make sure you're doing music, and then maybe even go in as far as to say guitar or drums or whatever. You want these ads to be targeted. From here, you're going to be designing your ad, how it'll show up on these sidebars. A lot of this, there's two kinds of ads. There's in-stream and there's in display, and they do show up differently. In-stream is the videos you see before a video starts, a video ad, and in display is stuff that you'll see over on the sidebars. And for that, you want to make sure that you've got good titles, you have to have a good headline, a good description, and a good thumbnail. Some things to note: you can get your ad denied if you use all caps, if you capitalize the first letter of each word, if you use exclamation points, if you don't use real words, if you have typos, stuff like that. So make sure that you use proper grammar and punctuation here. Don't make it too advertising-y with exclamation marks and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. What you see on screen that I've done is fine and passed with no problems. They do review your ads before they go up, so you just have to make sure that it's legitimate. So you're going to go ahead and click on Next. Now you're going to need to sign in. If you don't have an account, you might need to make one. And here you've already set your budget. It's showing you what your ad might look like. And now we're going to accept it and go ahead and move on to some more specific settings. That's what you're going to see here in a second. It'll take you a whole nother page, and we need to really focus in our targeting, our locations, our ad, all of that stuff. We need to really refine that a little bit better than we have already. You may want to bookmark this page for future use because it is a little bit hard to get to if you don't know the URL, so bookmark that. And what you'll see here is this is your campaign that you just created. It shows your video, and right there you'll see it says is not serving under review. Now sometimes the reviewing takes hours or even a day or two, and this is just them making sure that your ad is legit, that they're going to serve it. They do check the different ways, the different types of ads in different paces. Here you see what the ads will actually look like. So if you want to click on your preview, they'll show up on the little overlay of the video on the right hand side, in other web pages possibly, and also as a video ad. We're trying to focus on video ads for this since this is for your YouTube channel. So that's what those look like. Nothing too fancy, but a good thumbnail is important because people will be able to see just your titles and your thumbnail. Now you're going to click on that Targets tab and go ahead. It'll already have a targeting group number 1 made for you. Click on that little pencil button and that will take you to where you can target. This is where things start to get a little bit more complicated and a little bit more, you have to use a little bit of finesse and really start to try to understand what you're actually doing. You don't need to mess with your bidding right away. This is something that probably won't matter if you're only doing a small ad. Here's where you're going to set your targets. You want to make sure to target things into a ratio that will get you as many views as you can for your budget, and at the same time still not limit you by these targets. You want to make sure that you're going for as many conversions as possible, which means that people will see the ad and want to come view your channel. So here you see that I can set my demographics, I can change my age. One thing is you can go check your demographics for your channel in your analytics on YouTube, and then you can match that in your demographics there because those people are more likely to enjoy your content. Here we're setting viewing videos about. So if I know that somebody's watching a video game video or a video game video about shooter games, then I know that they might be interested in my channel. So I chose those two. You'll see on the right hand side it's starting to do some previews and stuff of how your ad will perform. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit, but you can also add in placements, which are specific YouTube videos that you might want it to show up on. If you say, oh, I like Drifter's in-depth series, you can actually put in the URL there, or you can just type in something that you're interested in, like Call of Duty Ghosts, and it'll give you suggestions and you can click on them, and that will add it into those specific videos. So it's specifically placing your ad on that video, so you know exactly where it will appear. This can be good on some levels, however, it does limit your audience greatly, so don't do too much. You'll see here they're showing up on the right hand side when I add them, and you'll notice it's changing my views per day and my CPV. CPV is cost per view. Usually they're somewhere between a penny and 20 cents depending on what it is, but for our purposes we're looking at somewhere between 1 and 4 cents most likely. And as you change these, as you change your targeting group and all that, it will change how many people can possibly see your ad and how much the ad's going to cost. You'll notice that as we added more criteria for our target group, that little Venn diagram has gone away and been replaced with something else. And we have that little thing over there saying the targeted audience is very narrow. You can go ahead and go down and add keywords. So I might want Call of Duty Ghosts or Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever for my channel. You can add all sorts of stuff like that depending on what your channel is. However, keep in mind that the more factors that you kind of narrow your search down by for your targeted audience, the less people that will be able to see it. You see this 250 number up here in the top right. It says that less than 250 people per day will be able to see your ad. Now, from my experience, when I did this targeting that you see on screen, I only got 2 views in one day. So when it says less than 250, it is it's possibly much less than 250. You want that to be probably at the less than 500 range, because that'll ensure that you're still able to get out to lots of people, but targeting for the right kinds of people. Again, I'll talk in a little bit about how your budget can affect this. You see there's all sorts of stuff. People who are searching, so if they're searching in Google, maybe you want your ad to come up as a little bar. All that kind of stuff is stuff you can add, but the more you add, the more targeted it is, and that means that you're going to get less hits. Here on screen, I show an example of kind of what you saw just on screen, and this is a little bit of math you can do. You have your budget set. Our daily budget for this example is $3.57 a day. I know that at 2 cents average, which is what it shows here, it says I can get 250 views or less. If I multiply that out, it's $5, and $5 is more than 3, which means that I'm going to hit my budget limit before I am able to just exhaust the people that can see it. However, again, like I noted before, the 250 number is varied, so I wouldn't, if it says 250, I would not use it. I would narrow it back until it says 500, as you see up here. So this is what I've actually been using currently. You see it's 3 cents per view, 500 views or less per day, which works out beautifully for us. And also you saw a little pie chart up there. That pie chart shows the ratio of views that you're going to get that are going to be those little pictures on the right hand side or in the overlay of the video, and which ones are going to be actual videos. So you do want that to be as green as possible. You want the in-stream ads, not the display ads, because as a YouTube channel, you're hoping to get your video in front of people. After you finish setting your targeting group, you're going to go over to the settings tab. Make sure that you change your language. Change this to accelerated if you would like. It doesn't really matter. This is personal preference. I do accelerated just so I can get those views out there as quickly as possible. You can change your budget, change the name. I like to change the name because I've run several of them and I want to make sure I know which one I'm always talking about. So we're going to do January 2014 campaign. And your locations and languages. Here I took off my locations afterwards because, again, that's just another narrowing factor that I don't care if they're in Ukraine as long as they speak English. So make sure you set your language, but don't necessarily worry about locations unless what you're doing is location specific. You can change the start date, the end date, all that stuff. Just make sure that you have these all set the way that you would like. And if we scroll down, there's going to be an option talking about, do we want to optimize for views or optimize for conversions? Now, if your content is something that's universally liked, if it's comedy videos that they're just snappy, everyone loves them, then you might want to optimize for views because we can expect that lots of people will like it. If it's something that's more niche, if you're doing something that's guitar tips or something about Call of Duty updates or whatever, then maybe you want to do that for conversions because your audience will be a little bit more specific and you want it to serve it to a more specific audience. Now, this is what I've seen after about 2 days. Like I said, the first day my targeting was so narrow I only got 2 views, and then I backed it off and I ended up with 200 and some. What you can do in this page that's really important is it shows you, if you go up to there to the columns tab, you can select what you want to see. This is my favorite page here because this shows you how many views your ads got, how many views that ad has earned you extra, which is what I'm on right now. So my ad's been viewed over 200 times and it's earned me 30 views where people went around and browsed around my channel after they saw my ad, and 3 new subscribers. That's not too bad for one day, especially at this low budget. The better your video ad is and the more engaging it is right off the bat, the better your numbers will be for the cost. Obviously, the more money you put in, the more results you'll get out. But if you're trying to break that 100 subscriber mark, then this can be very effective to get you there quickly. I think that 1-2 week campaign with $20 or $30 will get you most of the way to 100 subs easily. Just make sure you're putting out a lot of good content, keeping people engaged. Make sure that your channel ad is very effective. You can go ahead and go to my channel. I'll link it in the end of this video, and you can check out what my ad looks like so you can see an example of one that I think is fairly good. It could be maybe more effective. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, like, favorite, and subscribe. Best luck with your YouTube channel, and you have a great day.